Hello, specimen. Today I want to talk about first times, and yes, I completely stole this from like probably about 5 different YouTubers, and like they only did it like they did like 3 years ago. It was a thing that was going around. My first time. Well, you know what? Let's recycle again. Let's be good. Let's be green. My first word was dada, I guess. I texted my mom. I asked her. She said that. And yeah. So it was dada. Typical. My first memory. I am torn between 2 different memories because I don't know which one came first. I'm assuming the second one I list is probably the first one, but let's go in no particular order. So, first memory number 1, contender, is I remember waking up and seeing my parents like stand over me, and like they picked me up out of a crib, and then they helped me get dressed, and I remember one of them saying something about it being my birthday, and that's it. That's all I remember. And the second memory is like, I think this one's probably earlier. It's very vivid. I'm just like watching my brother, and he's like making faces at me and like speaking in silly voices, like trying to get me to laugh or smile or something, and then I hear my mom call him from the kitchen. And like my brother's like really young in this memory. And my first movie that I ever saw in a theater, because Lord knows what movie I saw for the first time. Don't know. But the first movie I remember seeing in theater was Monsters, Inc. Yep. My first crush was Steve from Blue's Clues. My first CD was Jump 5, and that was like their first ever album. My first concert, well, from what I remember, I believe it was a Michael W. Smith concert. And I hated the experience. I never liked concerts. They're just too loud, too noisy, too many people. Just never liked it. So, yeah. But the music was pretty good from what I can remember. My first experience on the internet was more than likely playing Barbie games. Yeah, like dress-up games or babysitting type of thing. I remember somewhat. My first date. I never really went on official dates. Like I married my first boyfriend, so it's just like, yeah, and he never actually took me out like after we got married, he took me out on dates, you know, but they never really felt like dates because I don't know what dates are supposed to feel like, but like very rarely it actually feels like really special for us to go out because it's just us. We don't have kids or anything. We're not really getting away from anything. So it just feels like we're going out to dinner. So like I have to say, like, my first date was probably us going on break at Subway and having lunch together. Ooh, so romantic. Yeah, this was like when we just started courting too. My first kiss. Like I said, we courted. Okay, so with courting, there are like set rules, and like you're basically not supposed to kiss until you're married, until like your wedding day, and I've always highly disagreed with that rule, so I'm a bit of I'm a lawbreaker, I'm a rule breaker, and yeah. So like he and I both just kind of like, courting isn't for everybody, and some people need to understand that courting is not for everybody, you know. So yeah. But let me tell you about my first kiss. So, like, we have one regret from this. We broke the rule, so we have one regret from it, and that is basically that it was a rule and that we broke it. And that's it. That's all we really regret from breaking the rule. So let me set the scene. It was an October night. It was kind of cool out, kind of warm, so you didn't really need like a winter coat, but we wore like jackets and stuff. And yeah, so let's begin. We were sitting on his couch at his parents' house, and we were watching the movie. And I mean, it was getting kind of late and stuff, and we were just, yeah. So we were just sitting there on the couch watching a movie, and every so often we'd kind of look at each other, and it would feel like a magnet was pulling us together. And so, like, I cannot tell you how many times we almost kissed. Like, it just kept getting there, you know? And finally, you know, like, what really didn't help was, like, we like I said, we completely kind of disagreed with, you know, about waiting to kiss until your wedding day. Like, we're both pretty private people. We feel like first things, like, in a relationship should really be something private, and instead of being in front of everybody. Yeah, it felt like a magnet, and we kept, like, almost kissing, and it's just like, we just kept getting annoyed. We kept getting really annoyed about it. And, like, we tried moving away from each other, and it just, we'd always end up getting closer to each other. And then, like, he finally asked the question of, do you really want to wait until your wedding day to kiss? And I said, you already know this answer, and that is no, I don't want to wait until my wedding day to kiss. And he says, yeah, me neither. And so, I mean, so yeah, we're bad. So what happened was, we went outside for a walk, and we just kind of, like, talked about it and stuff. And then we went onto this, like, porch swing kind of thing. It wasn't on a porch. They don't really have a porch. But it was like one of those things, like a yard swing or whatever. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. So we sat on that, and then we were looking outside, and it was like looking up at the stars, and it was clear night. It was beautiful. And it was just like how I would always picture my first kiss would be like outside, night sky, beautiful, private moment. You know, I always wanted something like that. We were sitting there, we were talking, I'm like, okay, are we gonna actually do this? And so, oh, I'm sorry, I'm remembering it. We both never kissed anybody before. We kissed, and I went into it thinking that it was going to be like a peck, closed mouth, very, you know, like, this is a first kiss, we don't really know what to do. Him, he had taken advice from other guys and from movies. So just think of, I don't know, like a dog being a little puppy dog being affectionate. Just think of that. So here I am, closed mouth. Closed mouth. Here's him. We broke away. My face is like, so like my face is wet, and I'm going like, and then we hugged, and he's like, wow. And I'm like, yep, that's the word for it. And that was my first kiss. Thankfully, we've greatly improved. Yeah, can you imagine that being in front of like 200 people? I can't. I don't want to. I just cringe at that thought. And now we just laugh about it. Like today I said, you know what, I'm actually going to tell the internet about our first kiss. And he goes, oh. So we laugh, we joke about it, and yeah. So that was a list of my firsts. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more content. Give it a like. And ding that bell while you're at it when you're subscribing because of YouTube issues. And I shall see you all next week. So bye-bye, specimens.